Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast with Phil Graham. We help you master Facebook ads and give you an unfair advantage over your competition. Are you ready? Let's go.
Hey, what's up, podcast family? Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast, episode 270. I'm Phil Graham. Today, we're going to be talking about 5 common Facebook ad mistakes that many people are making in 2022, and it could be costing them a lot of money. Now, you don't want to be making any of these 5 mistakes, yet a lot of people are making some of them or even all of them. And many times they're just flushing money down the toilet when they're running ads because of it. So don't let that be you. I'm excited to share this stuff with you guys today, and I hope you're doing really well. And if you're not, take this opportunity to kind of reset and refocus and start doing the right things and tuning out all the negative noise. And if you are doing well, celebrate that and jump for the next level because there's so much opportunity out there. It's such a great time to be running ads and doing business. Hopefully this episode will really help everyone to take things to a higher level. Now, when it comes to Facebook and Instagram ad mistakes, there is a lot more than 5. However, these 5 are so common, especially these days in mid-2022, that I really wanted to highlight these because so many people make them. And even if you're making just one of the 5 mistakes, you're probably costing yourself money, but a lot of people are making some of them or even all of them. So you don't want that to happen. Before we jump into the content real quick, if you guys want some one-on-one coaching to finally learn ads the right way, the effective way, and learn it in a way that other people just aren't teaching it. Or if you're looking for somebody to actually run your ads for you, somebody you can trust, a professional, so you can do what you do best. Well, for either one of those things, just reach out to me by going to my website, philgrahamdigital.com, or you can DM me on Instagram at philgrahamdigital, and we can connect and see if it's a good fit. So I want to jump right into this week's content, my friends, and we're going to be talking about the 5 common Facebook ad mistakes people are making. Mistake number 1 is having a bad headline for your Facebook or Instagram ad. So a bad headline essentially means a headline that either doesn't get somebody's attention or it doesn't really mean anything by itself. A lot of people, when they look at ads, they look at one part of the ad and they just scan it really quickly. And then they decide from that point whether to keep scrolling and move on or to maybe stop and check it out. The headline is one of the most common things they scan first to determine whether they want to look at the ad more. So a huge mistake people make is, like I said, not having a hook in there, not getting their attention. So your headline should always have a hook. You've got to be able to get their attention with that headline. And then in addition to the hook, you've got to have something there that actually means something, not just getting their attention, but there should be some kind of a benefit statement or word or some differentiation or some curiosity or a combination of those. You obviously don't have a lot of room to work with, so you have to be really smart about it. But here's the deal. Remember this. A lot of people will only look at the headline and then decide whether they want to check the ad out. So no matter how good your video or image or ad copy or anything on the other side of that, no matter how good that is, if your headline is not good, then there's a good chance they're going to keep scrolling and you just lost money. Let me give you an example. This is one that I see fairly often. It's pretty common. I'll see somebody that has generic headlines, things like, "We can help you, huge opportunity, flash sale today only," or "contact us for help," or "save money." Well, let me ask you a question. If you're just looking at that headline, what does that mean? Help me with what? There could be a million things. It's not specific. If you're just looking at the headline, if it's not specific to what you can help them with, it's typically not going to stop people. They're going to keep scrolling and you just wasted money on that ad. So make sure that when you're creating headlines, you remember that some people only look at the headline before making a decision about whether to keep reading or watching a video. Make sure your headline is self-contained. that if you showed it to 100 people and then you asked that 100 people just from the headline alone, what does it mean? How do you help people? They should all be able to tell you what you do to help them just from your headline. So don't make the mistake of having a headline that doesn't mean anything. And of course, make sure you always have a hook. So that's mistake number one. Mistake number two is using what I call set it and forget it targeting. So many people think if they just run some general targeting, Facebook will do all the heavy lifting and just everything will just magically work. Well, my friends, it usually does not work that way. In fact, a lot of people that do that lose a lot of money and they end up failing because of it. That's not to say that Facebook isn't insanely powerful when it comes to targeting and data, but that is to say that when you're really good at this stuff, you should have that power in your hands, not just leave it to chance. Because I've seen so many people just use a lookalike audience or just let Facebook just randomly manage the targeting, and they have lost a lot of money. So yes, we use lookalike audiences. We do that kind of stuff. However, our success by far has come from when we've focused on targeting the right way, testing different types of audiences, broad audiences, segmented, matching our segmented ad copy to our segmented audiences, and evaluating all that data to see what's working and what's not, versus just setting it and forgetting it and hoping for the best. That is not what you want to do. You want to make sure that you take control over your destiny and that you get really good at targeting different audiences and being able to read the data and then make other changes based off of what that data tells you. So again, in a nutshell, and I've had episodes on this and we'll do more in the future, but I would recommend testing a broad audience. I would also recommend testing some segmented audiences that are more narrow, more specific. And then you can match your ad copy to your segmented audiences. And then you could also do some set it and forget it audiences as a test and see how that does. But I highly recommend doing most of your targeting the right way, where you're testing specific things, especially matching your ad copy. That's where it gets very, very powerful. And you can really rise above what most people are doing. And that's causing a lot of people to fail. Mistake number three is using the wrong ad objective or using the right objective, but using it in the wrong way. So a common mistake people make is they use the conversions objective, which, by the way, is definitely one of my favorite objectives and the one I use a lot, but they use it incorrectly in a way that sometimes can cause them to actually lose money. So when you use the conversions objective, what Facebook does is you define what the conversion is. Is that a purchase, a lead, an add to cart, whatever it is, you define what it is. And you have to have enough data. You have to have enough conversions so Facebook can see the similarities between all the people that converted. And then they can go out and find people within your audience that are somewhat similar and hopefully more likely to convert than some random person. But to make that happen, number one, you have to have enough conversions so Facebook has enough information to do that. Number two, you need to give Facebook somewhat of a large audience to pull from. Because if you are using conversions like with a small audience or a retargeting audience, that's not really going to make sense. That's not really the optimum way, in my opinion, at all to use it. And then number three, you also have to have a decent budget, or else you're going to be kind of shooting yourself in the foot. So I use conversions a lot, but I try and make sure that our audience is large and we have a decent sized budget to work with, and that we've got enough conversions to give Facebook what it needs to do its thing. So don't make that mistake of using it on a small audience or a small budget, because it could still work, but a lot of times it doesn't, and it ends up costing you as an advertiser a lot of money, and you don't want that. So you've got to make sure that you do things the right way. One thing that you can do, let's say you don't have a lot of conversions yet, you can change what the conversion is. So right now, if your conversion optimization is a purchase, but let's say you don't have a lot of purchases that are coming in yet, you could change that to be an add to cart, or you could change that to be a lead or a page view. And then you can get some conversions coming in. Facebook will try and find people that are similar to those that took the action of whatever the conversion is. And then you'll start hopefully getting more sales. And then you can change the conversion optimization to sales, to purchases as you get more in. So that's an effective way of kind of working through that. Another thing you might do is test other ad objectives. Conversions is my favorite, but we've had some ads where traffic crushed it and did way better. So testing other ad objectives is also very smart, because sometimes you're going to find a different objective that works really well for you. It might be traffic, it might be messages, it might be something else. But don't make the mistake of using the wrong objective or using the right one in the wrong way, because that can definitely cost you money. Mistake number 4. This is so common because people are not out there teaching this kind of stuff. And this mistake is huge. It can really cost you so much money. It's crazy. And that is not using data and skill to make good ad decisions. When you're not using the data and the skill of evaluating data and running ads, when you're not using those things to make good decisions, that can cause people to turn ads off way too soon, ads that would have been winners, or let ads run too long that are not winners and never will be, or they'll make too many frequent changes because you're spending money on ads, but it's not working right away. And so you're changing it really quick. And a lot of times you're literally shooting yourself in the foot, costing yourself money doing that. Or another thing is, you might be changing things that are not the actual problem instead of working on what is. I'll give you a common example. I was working with someone and the ads were doing really well. And I just came on as a consultant. So I wasn't running their ads, but in consulting for them, I noticed, okay, the data is strong on the ads, but their conversion on the website was horrible. I mean, it was way, way, way below benchmark, like not even close, not even in the ballpark of where it should be. And they were sitting there trying to change their ads left and right all the time. They were focused on the wrong thing. It's like you have a boat in the middle of a lake or an ocean and there's a hole in the boat. Well, they weren't fixing the hole. They were working on trying to find different oars to row the boat when there's a hole in the boat. You got to fix the actual hole. In their case, the hole was conversion optimization, which I was able to help them with. That's something that I work on with many clients, because it's not just about the ads, it's about what's on the other side of the ads too. That's just as important. But when you're not using data or skill to make good decisions and you're spending money on ads, it's very common to just look at the ads and make frequent changes if you don't have money coming back in quickly. But again, when you do that, more often than not, for a lot of you guys, that means you're literally just flushing money down the toilet. So you need to be able to identify if something is not working. Is it not working because you just didn't give it enough time? Maybe it's on the right track and you're just shutting it off too soon. Or if you really did give it enough time, is it not working because of what? The ad, the creative, or is it the audience, or is it the landing page or the sales page or the offer? There's going to be something, and you can always identify and find out what that is through proper testing. I've got some episodes on that I've done, and I'll do more in the future. And I work with clients on that kind of stuff as well. But you can't get into the habit of making decisions based off of emotion and just guessing, or, oh, I've been running ads for 2 weeks and nothing's coming in. Let me just change everything. That's just random. It's like you're flying blind. For most of you guys, you're not going to have any success when you do it that way. So I highly recommend that you change your approach to things. If you're listening to this podcast, you're already on the right track, because you've probably heard me talk about how important it is to use data to make good decisions. Good data, good decisions, non-emotional. So just making that commitment alone can help you. And then getting better at it, because it is a skill. Getting better at it will really set you apart. So really focus on not just making emotional decisions when you're running ads. Don't just turn things on and off emotionally. Always have a reason, always have a data point, always have something to back you up that's not based on emotions, and that should help you a lot. And last but not least, my friends, mistake number 5 is looking for easy buttons, magical templates, and all the other fake guru crap that's out there. I know you've seen it everywhere. It's literally everywhere. These fake gurus are just horrible. They don't know what they're talking about, but they're really good at screwing people and just scamming them. So don't let that be you. If you have been scammed, don't feel bad. It's not your fault. It happens to a lot of people. And that's one of the reasons I started this podcast over 5 years ago, because I was tired of seeing people get screwed. And they still get screwed to this day, but hopefully my podcast helps a lot of people not get screwed. Remember, there's no easy buttons. There's no magical templates. There's no magic formula that's automatically going to make you rich or help you sell a lot of stuff next week or next month or whatever. That's not reality. Don't let those people screw you, and realize that if you focus on the stuff we talk about on this podcast, and you focus on being great at what you do and using data to make great decisions and running your business and tuning out all the crap and all the noise, that can give you an edge and help you get to where you really want to be. And remember, everything you learn on this podcast, don't just take it and just blindly use it. Really put in some variables that are specific to your situation. Test different things. Pay attention to the data. Be really great at making decisions based off of that data. And that is the kind of thing that will really separate you from everyone else. So make sure you guys stay focused and just avoid all that crap, and it should help you tremendously. All right, my friends, episode 270 is in the books. I have a lot of fun and exciting things on the way in future shows. Thank you so much for listening. Again, if you want to get in touch with me, philgrahamdigital.com is the website, or you can DM me on Instagram at philgrahamdigital, and I will talk to you next time. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast. Please remember to subscribe and share this with all your friends. For show notes, more tips, and to learn more about Phil, please visit philgrahamdigital.com/podcast.